We might be live. Maybe, possibly. We could be there. We are maybe live. I should try and turn my resolution down, which I don't know if I can actually do. All right, what can I do to edit? No, I can't. No, don't do that. Cancel. Don't do that. I'll just let it go. All right. Hello. There's not a lot to do tonight. It might be a short stream. Might be over really quick. Hope you've had a good week. I'm just trying to clean up. The little Dalek is assembled now. Kobe. So what's been going on? I've been working on these things, and you've probably seen a few shorts about them already. These are the microphones for the school musical. So I'm trying to get 3 of them that look the same or pretty similar. Not bad for height. And get them ready. You'll notice somewhere on here, there it is, there's a hole. And because the reference image I got actually had these at 45 degrees tilted, but it also had 2 wires coming off of the microphone body and disappearing down a hole, and I'm wondering whether that would look good. So I do have some little crimp connections, and I'm going to try and see if there's a way that I can maybe mount these to the side there and see if they work. Maybe with a tiny little screw or something, and then crimp these on and then just push them down the hole. So they're made in a few pieces, and they're basically made in a few pieces because I didn't know how big the people were that were using them. So I figure if it's a school musical, so if they're high school age students, and I'm a 6 foot tall human, and they're like most high school students and massive, this isn't going to be too bad, and you can still pick up the microphone stand if you have to, and give it a bit of an Elvis impression. But the other thing was that if they were shorter, then what can happen, and this is the genius part, right, is this part will be affixed to the top of this tube, but this tube detaches from the base. So you can cut the bottom of that, slide it back over there, and the cut piece will be hidden because it's not just in that many pieces. There's actually, I'll take this one. It's like a terrible magic show, right? But because the base will actually have this third or second piece of conduit over the top, which is slightly bigger, it does 2 things. Number one, this conduit was a little bit bendy because I had to bend it to get it in the car. But the second thing is it does make it look a bit more like a microphone stand to have the stepped look, and it will cover up the cut-off end. So this can be painted silver or whatever color. What color should they be? I'm just going to retrieve the base. Bases, well, they were easy but painful to do. So it's not a perfect circle, but no one's going to get up on stage and check that. They should have been, but I'm not a very good woodworker. Well, they're props. How accurate do they need to be? They're going to be seen from what, 30 feet at the closest. That's how close the closest person watching is going to see them. So what I did is I got something round, which was the failed half of my BB9E 3D print, and I traced that onto some scrap wood that I had lying around, and then roughly cut it out with a jigsaw. My jigsaw just likes bending blades. It just does. You can either put no pressure on the blade and have it cut straight, but if you want to cut a curve, the blade just sort of deflects. It just does. So I did that. Then I took them over to my little disc sander and sanded them down to the line that I'd drawn. Then I had to use some very clever maths to work out the middle. I only worked it out on one, and then I used this with a long nail through a hole that I'd bored in the center to mark the center of the other 2, because, again, prop, who's going to care? And then I had to this is where I had to get clever, where you can't see it. There's in here where the dowel is, there are actually 2 holes. There is a larger hole on the outside, which is the same size. Where's my offcut piece? Hold on. so I don't knock the laptop off. The larger hole on the outside is the same diameter as that conduit, inside and outside, right? Well, the outside, I should say. And then what I did is, once that was drilled, I used a slightly smaller Forstner bit to cut a hole about that size on the center, so it had sort of a larger hole and then a smaller one underneath that went almost all the way through the wood, so that I could then sand down the end of the dowel just slightly, put some glue in, screw it in from the bottom, so that was held nice and firmly. And then also when the conduit goes in, there's, I don't know if you can see it, you see it down there, there's a little groove, and that little groove holds onto that conduit nice and firmly. So it helps to just sort of take the wobble out of it a little bit. So that was the plan. And that's how this microphone stand came to be. And then these, well, I was sent a reference image and I had to go at catting these up. But I'm just wondering, yeah, like I say, whether I should get some wire into it and route some wire. I think the side that's going to face the actors is just that, because it's a prop. Do they need anything there? No. I mean, they could always turn it around and face that way, or I could even print another one of those and stick it on the back, but I don't know. Is it worth doing? It's just another thing to break. Whereas, and because I printed it like that, I could print it flat, and that take about 6 hours each. So I'm already, you know, I'm 20 hours in on this, and this is like to go with my milk crates from the other week. You know, I must be about 30 hours in props. So for 1, 2, 3, what's that? 8 props. That's a lot of hours in to make them. So I'm kind of, a lot of this time was spent sleeping, because, yeah, take out the 18 hours, I'm probably only 4 or 5 hours in on all the other props. But still, time's time. And I'm not getting paid. I'm not even getting money for paint for these. So what color should they be? What options do we have? We've got black. They could be black. They could be sort of black with a dusting of gold. What I'm trying to think of is, what color were microphone stands? Would they have been wooden? Should I leave them woodenish? But then how am I going to make this look, the conduit look wooden, apart from painting it brown? I'm leaning towards black because it's an easy color to get. What else could I do? I could do a color. I could do blue, could do white, could do orange, could do silver. I've got grey. Could microphone stands be grey? I've got this lovely bluey greeny sort of color. I don't know. I'm not sure what color they should be, but it'd be really good to be able to take these out and spray these and the conduits tomorrow. But we'll see. I need to get a bigger drill bit for this wire, because if I decide to not do the wire, you just turn it around. It doesn't matter, does it? Oh, hello. And then I can actually get back onto other important projects, like the scaled down dog lamps, the Dalek, the Bluetooth radio, all things that I'd like to just have done. So that's the plan. Congratulations to Brisbane for getting to the AFL final. I'd like to say I'm a Brisbane supporter, but I really have not supported them at all in the last 20 years. But I'm still happy that the team that I used to support have made it to the grand final. Good on to them. Also under no illusions that that's a bit wobbly right now, so it needs some tape on it or some glue. But that's the whole idea, that I can glue that into the end, and then you can cut it off the bottom if you need, just with a little conduit cutter, or even a hacksaw, or a decent set of shears. I'm sure things that props people will probably have laying around. Now, is that going to be big enough for one? Do 2 fit in there? Oh, just okay. just. What I might end up doing is like crimping them together or something and just sort of shoving them in. Okay, so they're going to go. I might make it a tiny bit bigger, not much. Let me see if there's another drill bit. A slightly bigger one. That's a better one. What else? We spent the day in the garden. I've just put some weed and feed stuff on that's meant to turn the lawn black. So that'll be fun. Stand this one on there. This is another one of those projects I kind of took on so I could use up a lot of stuff that I have left over. Ow. There it is. Kind of locks in there. Okay. This is my replacement drill that DeWalt sent me when they charged me $200 to change the chuck on that one, which was still under warranty. And I said, really? And they said, yeah, fair enough. So they sent me this. I'd actually already just bought a combination kit that had one in it as well. So I now have two of these and the fixed one. So there is no need for me to buy a drill for a very, very long time. So they will go down there like that. Beautiful. And I think that's going to be, I think microphone stands at the time were probably like that anyway. I think they, I think generally in 1920s electronics with talking brass, we're talking things being made of, purely of copper because that was a functional thing. And it wouldn't shock me if there was, wooden microphone stands. So I think that'll be okay. Now, I guess what I'm going to need to do is actually experiment with one of these microphone heads and see what happens if I try and attach one of these little, it's just a little crimp connector. I was kind of hoping I would have some little crimp on like screw type terminals, but I cannot find any. I will have one last look in case, but I don't think I have any. The only other thing I've got is little ferrules, which I suppose I could stick into the side. The more I think about it. Stuff in the way everywhere. I wonder if I could crimp some of these on. Some of these little ferrules. And then see if I could possibly drill a hole into the side here and then have them poking out with the wire like that into the side and have that coming out and disappearing down into the... I reckon that might work. And then it's a smaller hole and I can glue them in, which will be good. What do you reckon? Yeah, I reckon that's good too. Because I think these would either be gluing or screwing in and it would be more trouble than they're worth. Now, are these big enough to crimp onto here? Maybe. Probably not. I need some bigger ones, but that's okay. Whatever color I can get, right? What about these? What about blue? Annie's a bit of a, I know red would have been good, but maybe blue, a bit red, white, and blue. They'll stand out. The light will catch them a little bit on stage. It just adds a bit of interest to the prop. I think that's probably the go. Let me get my crimper and all that stuff and see if this will work. Where is my crimper? It's not in there. That is as to be expected because it's never where you want it to be. There's a crimper. Do I have a stripper? Don't answer that. Oh, got so much junk in the way. There's one. There we go, crimper and a stripper. And I just think, you know, a little sort of, I don't know where I could get a, somewhere like that, in that row there, and in that row there. And I think it'd look all right. We'll see. Try with this one, and if it doesn't work, then we'll know that I was wrong. Nothing wrong with being wrong, is there? Is there enough on this to be able to, oh yeah, that should go. And then you can crimp these like this. I'll try and do it so you can. They're not going to come off. And then drill a little hole in the side and then sort of have that pushed in there to run out. And I think that'll look okay. Glue them in. I think that'll look the biz. And then they need to go in dangerously, but again, how close are you going to get to it? That is a bit big. Let me get a smaller drill bit. Tonight in the vlog, I walk away to find the right size drill bit. This is probably more the size. And if I do it to one and I don't like it, well, I can always not do it to any others, right? Apparently, you have to be able to do this. You have to be able to, let's see, I'm not even good at doing that. Apparently you need to, apparently if you can't do that, it hurts my hands to do that. It's a silly idea. There you go. All right. And then that should push in there like that. And that adds a bit of interest. And then the cables go together, disappear down inside the thing. I reckon that'll be okay. Let's do a red one. Let's do a red one. It sounds like a anti-drug video. Caution, kids, don't do a red one. Like that. And then I will work out how much wire they need while I shove it into the tube. Lovely. Come on. Get in there. There we go. That will do. I'm sure all prop makers do this. You know, they just try stuff, and if it works, great. This is how they made Star Wars. And so that goes on there. And then these disappear down into there. And it looks, I don't know, it probably doesn't look any more interesting because there's nothing behind it. But I've got no way to... Should I put up a backdrop? Hold on. Maybe I can get a backdrop. I've just had a brilliant idea. The backdrop of the second-hand op shop sheet, which I think was covering up Davros at the start. There we go. The backdrop. May the backdrop be with you. There we go. Look at that. Does that look more interesting on the backdrop? I don't know. Probably makes bugger all difference. What if I coiled the wires? What if I coiled them around like that? I'm going to go with it. It doesn't make it look any worse. Coil the wires and then I cut them off. Some snips. I'll cut them off about there. Right. Coil them up. What do you think? What kind of microphone of death is that? I think that'll be all right. Plus the grey is washing it all out. Geez, my t-shirt blends in the background. There you go. Yeah. I think that'll be okay. I'm going to glue them in. That's the next job. Right. Now that I can do that, where's the glue? Glue. Glue. Where is it? I just had it. Where the feckin' did I put in the glue? Ah, right in front of me. Okay. Shall I tilt the screen down to see the bench? It's probably more interesting. You will now witness me glue my fingers together at least once. Because that is what I do during these kind of delicate operations. I will always glue my fingers together. We've spent a lot of the day doing lawnmowers as well today. Back to lawnmowers because the weather's warming up, and so Scotty has decided to get rid of one of the hard rubbish mowers that he fixed. So there we go. That one can stay there to dry. Let's move on to the next one. I'm basically trying to put these in, put these dots in somewhere basically around there, which is in line with this kind of thick area. They don't have to be perfect. That's okay. Yeah, so we've kind of given the lawnmower a bit of a birthday today. Fresh service, new air filter, new spark plug, cleaned out the carby, got it running again, tidied up some of the paint, just on little things like on the starter cover and stuff. The black of the Briggs and Stratton logos was going a bit, well, the cover itself was a bit dodgy, so we took it off, cleaned it up with some wax and grease remover, and just rattle canned a bit over the after masking off the labels and stuff, so it looks a bit nicer. And he wants to put that up for sale, so he's got some spending money on our holiday trip. That is absolutely okay. I'm used to always say to him that, you should always, if you got something for free, you should be giving it away. But you know what? He's been taken advantage of with his generosity plenty of times now that I don't see a problem with it. If he wants to give stuff, if he wants to get something for the work that he's put in, I think that's absolutely fine. So I am not worried anymore. What I might do though is I might quickly use the countersink on those holes just to these are a bit raggy. It's kind of hard to show, but they are. So let me just to even that out a bit. Right. So this one, black's going in the right-hand side. It's a bit tight. It's a tight fit. Feel free to vote in the poll of what color should the microphone stands be, because I've got no idea. Black would probably be the easiest, wouldn't it? Just make everything black. And it would also make the microphone stand out. And it would also make the red wire stand out. Maybe I should have used 2 lots of red, but I don't have that much red wire. I've only got enough for this. There we go. I reckon somewhere down there is probably good. Glue. Glue. Officeworks finest cheap super glue. Sorry, I'll keep it down there. Go. Gently shove your cables into the hole. All right, gravity's probably not helping that, so let's give gravity a hand. Gravity and other hits by John Mayer. Right, last one. Markensehole. Says how to not make props. Well, I shouldn't say that. People seem to like the design the other day, so that's good. I don't know whether they're. Well, look, I hope they get used. They might get these and go, "What the fuck is that?" It doesn't look anything like what I wanted, but yeah. You pays peanuts, you gets monkeys. All right, sorry, I didn't realize I had that out of view. So the thing is with it being that, well, look, if I move it forward and I move the camera up slightly, you're going to get a view of my gut.